Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Balance and Harmony Hour. And since last week, we are having what I call the stress and balance conversation, where I'll be asking my guests different questions, their experiences with stress and balance. So before I introduce my guest for today, I want to remind us that our masterclass, The Self-Care You Deserve, is taking place on August 30th. It's 10,000 naira for those that are in Nigeria and 10 euros or $10 for those outside Nigeria. Please register. You can only save your time, save your energy, know what drains you, know how to reduce your stress level, and live a fulfilling life. So let's go into today's business.
All
Today I
right.
have a young, vibrant lady. Her name is Chidnma, and I love that name now. If you know me, you know why I love that name. That's the name I gave to my first daughter, Chidnma. God is good.
And he
Young
is
lady.
good.
She's a young lady, and this is the first time I'm introducing somebody as a storyteller. And I admire that so much because I'm not a storyteller. I don't know how to tell stories. I just tell scattered things. But to tell a story, I don't know how to do it. So I'm still learning it because for you to be speaking to people, you really need to know how to tell stories.
True.
So she's a wife. She's a mom of two beautiful kids, and she holds a master degree in literature. So when you see storytelling and literature, you see the connection. My younger sister also read literature and English
Okay.
and literature, and she's
Literature.
also a storyteller.
Wonderful.
So my guest started a career in human resources, but right now she's the visionary founder of immigrant tales, HIT, a storytelling and social impact platform amplifying the voices of immigrant women, which I'm one of them. And I'm so privileged to have been interviewed by her. It was so, for me, very revealing
It's
and
a
very
honor.
fulfilling to be part of it. Where immigrant women share their story, their struggles, their wins, their journey, so that people that are coming we learn from them. They say experience teaches us, but you must not go through that experience. You can stand on the experience of people that have gone through that. So she's building a legacy in that and helping people to heal and to preserve culture. So you are welcome. Thank you for
So much, ma'am.
sitting on the hot seat where I'll not be interviewing you. We'll be having a conversation.
Conversation.
So
Absolutely.
let's start. If you were asked to introduce yourself, how would you introduce yourself? That would be my first question.
Okay, so first off, I would say, as you know, my name is Chidima. There's just something about that name that makes me feel so proud. So I am always so eager to let you know my name is Chidima, and always very more eager to tell you the meaning, which means God is good. So first, I'll introduce myself as Chidima, and then I'll tell you what I do, which is the fact that I'm a storyteller. After that, of course, I've been honored to be with one of the best men on planet Earth. I'll tell you I'm a wife. I'll tell you I'm a mom to two awesome girls. And I am a learner. I think learning new things excites me. So I'm always eager. I want to learn. I want to know more. And, we could take it from there.
That's nice. You're welcome. So my first question I'll ask you is this. When you think of the word stress, I'm a stress management coach. I'm a
Yeah.
stress to success strategist. And I think my first ever post was this question. When you think of stress, what do you think about? What comes to your mind?
Okay, thank you first for this question. When I think about stress, a lot of things come to my mind, but I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is lack, being broke, because I have been there. I've been in abundance and I've been in lack. So when we talk about stress, we're talking about lack, we're talking about not having in abundance or having below what you're used to or what you know. Then I would also, dirtiness also is stressful to me. If you
Oh,
come to my
yes.
house, my kids will always say, Mommy sings, I can't function in a dirty environment like a song. But then it's true, it causes anxiety for me, and which leads to stress on my own part. So I can't function in a dirty place. Another thing I would say that I would associate with stress would be having to say yes always, because saying no is also fine sometimes. It's putting up boundaries, and boundaries give you a kind of rest. But having to say yes always simply means that you don't value yourself. So that also I would associate with stress. And then finally, I think the last thing I would seriously associate with stress is procrastination. I am someone who wants to get the job done. So when I procrastinate, it makes me it sits in my mind, and I'm like, I haven't done this, I haven't done this, I haven't, and it puts me off. So because of that, I hardly procrastinate. I have my to-do list, and I'm always like, okay, this is what I have to do today. I make sure I do it and then get it moving.
Thank you so much. One of the things I can associate personally with is being dirty, or when a place is not arranged.
Oh
My
no.
kids, they know me. That is for
Yeah.
me. I can only get relaxed or productive
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
happy when everything is okay.
Yeah.
So you can see me dying and you say, Mama, rest. You want me to rest? Then
Ooh,
let everything be okay.
I can
Then my
relate.
rest starts. Before that time,
Yes.
it doesn't start.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
can I can fully understand that. So what's your take on balance? The problem with balance is I get people challenging me and say there's nothing like balance. You cannot achieve balance. Balance is not achievable and things like that. There are so many myths about balance. What's your take on balance?
Well, for me, I think it has to do with mindset. And when I say it has to do with mindset, what you see in your mind, you can manifest. What you don't see in your mind, you absolutely cannot manifest. So for me, I think balance is possible. I think you can achieve it, but then you have to be able to set your priorities right. And well, another name people call me, my very close friends and my family members, they call me the list maker. So, because I'm just that kind of person, I don't want to forget anything. I want to make sure that things are the way, but then sometimes life happens, and it's beyond our control. But for me, the way I'm able to strike a balance is the fact that I know that these are the things that's expected of me, say today. I try my possible best to make sure I finish it. It's just like when I was working like in the HR department, I would tell my partners, look, this thing shouldn't sit on your table. It shouldn't for any reason. If it's for you to do, get to it, get it done, and move it to the next table. And it has worked for me. I've been able to, when it comes to being a mom, being a wife, being a sister, we know it's tasking, and then having to include that with maybe pursuing your ambition if you're the ambitious type. It is not a walk in the park, but then you have to set your priorities right. What are very important to me? You don't have to go for all parties. You don't have to be friends with everyone. Like I personally, I have very few friends, but these are friends that are wonderful, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I don't have to attend all parties. I don't have to be everywhere. In fact, everybody doesn't have to have an access to me, because that way a whole lot of things start going up and it messes with your head. But when you know that you've been able to build a community of very close knitted people who are also in your intellectual capacity, I think it helps a lot. Your family also helps, because I come from a close knitted family, and you can't go through stress in my family because everyone dotes on
Wow.
you, and it just makes it easy. So know what works for you and just try to build on it, because our fingers are not equal, as they say. What works for Mr. A might never work for Mr. B. So just try to know what works for you and just try. I think the key word here is just trying to make sure that you look out for yourself. What is the balance at the end of the day? The balance is looking out for yourself, looking out for your peace of mind, looking out for your mental rest, looking out for your physical well being. that's the balance. So at the end of the day, it still boils down to mindset. It depends on what these people think balance is. But this is what I think balance is, and this is how I'm able to achieve it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And if I would just add something to people watching, is that balance is not one size fits all.
Oh, true.
And balance is not 50-50 of anything. You don't say, okay, I work 50% and I stay at home 50%.
Absolutely.
It might be that for you, but it's not that for everybody. Some people, they get their balance when they work 80%, but the 30%, the 20% they are at home, they are fully at home.
Yeah.
So, like you said, balance, if I have to put it in another word, is progressive. It's not perfection. You are a work in progress,
Progress.
and you prioritize what is important for you. You prioritize it and you live in your own balance. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure,
So,
man.
right now, before we go into other question, if you have to rate your stress level, I like using rating because um, I like to be able to say, okay, I was in this position. What
Mm-hmm.
can I do to get to this position? So it helps me. So right now, based on everything around you, based on you being on this platform, because that also influences our
Mm-hmm.
stress rate and everything.
Yeah, true.
What would be your stress rate from 1 to 10?
Okay, so if you had asked me this question before, maybe 5, 6 months ago, before I met you, I would have said maybe five. But after I met you and then the conversations we've had, I've been opportuned, of course, to be part of your class. I would say for now, I have gone up to 6.5 because, as you said, it's work in progress, and you've been very helpful. You've given me some very good insights that have also assisted me. So for now, it's a 6.5. I'm hoping that I get to 8.
No, let me explain to you. In stress, 10 is the you are stressed out. It's the
Oh,
other way.
okay.
Then one
Okay,
is that
okay.
you don't have any stress.
Okay, so if before I met you, I'll still have to go back then because I was in a mess, kind of. It was still 5, but after I met you, I think we've been able to take it down to about 2.5. Yes, so
That's
far
great.
it's like
Okay. Funny enough, let me tell you something. Sometimes when I have a journal whereby I also journal my stress
hmm
rate, and I write there why it's like that. So there are some days I would write my stress is, because it's always different for different reasons, because we have
true,
different factors coming in.
very true.
And I will now write my stress rate was 5 to 7 on that particular day. And I'll write it was a very productive day. It
Day.
was a stress day because I went out, I got things done and everything.
True, true.
For moving from one place to the other, going to sport is it's like stress, but it's good stress.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. Why by
True.
some days I will have my stress rate is 2 or 3, but I wasn't really feeling fulfilled. I was just there
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
So stress, if you know how to use stress, that's why I say I'm a stress to success
yeah.
strategist. If you know how to use your stress to your best way,
True.
it will work for you. Maybe sometimes before somebody does a presentation, their stress
Mm-hmm.
level goes high. They have
Mm-hmm.
butterflies in their tummy. They are a bit
Yeah,
nervous. So their
yeah,
stress level is 7. But
yeah.
or a woman that wants to give birth, her stress level is
Mm-hmm.
even 10. But you just know that that stress level is a good one, because when you give birth, when you make a presentation,
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
a good thing. So that's a
Absolutely.
discussion for another day. But thank you for listening to me and following my tips. I
Oh, you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
I should be thanking you.
So our second question is, what's your current strategy for staying productive, without breaking down? Because sometimes people are productive, but at the end of the day, they are,
Yeah,
like we say here in Germany, they get kaput, they get burnt out. So
true.
what keeps you productive without tearing you down?
Oh well, I think for this, first off, I would say God.
Mm.
because it just has to be him. It's not of he who will it or run it, of course, but God who showeth mercy. Then I would say the kind of family I have. I don't think I can talk about stress and not talk about the kind of family I've been favored or lucky to have. From my husband to my parents to my siblings, my kids also, because I were trying to nurture them in that path also.
That's good.
And personally, I would say what helps me be on top of my game is my list.
Yeah.
So, there was a time I took a course in business analysis, and we did a bit of management during the course. And they were like, "The truth is, you do project management every day." And in my head, I was like, "You don't mean it." And then they said, "Yes. When you tell yourself this is what I want to achieve today, even from standing up from your bed to going back to sleep, that's a project, and you've just managed it." And I was like, you didn't tell me before now. I have an A1 in this side of my life. So, yes, to do list. If you come to my phone, I have a to do list. If you come to my fridge, I have my calendar. I always write things down. And this is what it does. So, on my phone, on my notes, I have what I want to achieve for the day. And you know what I do? When I achieve one, I take it out of the list. So that way, it tells me that Chidima, you've achieved something today. Chidima, you're doing something today, and it just helps me be on top of my game. So that helps me. Another thing I would say that also helps me is the fact that when I get tired, I accept I am tired because
Mm,
I
mm.
I could be a very sweet person, but sometimes you don't want to meet me when I'm tired, honestly. I could be so irritable and you'll just be like, it's this Chidima. Oh, hey, I'm just tired. So I accept. And that is why when I'm stressed, when I'm in that mood, if you're close to me, I tell you, look, I am stressed. So I'm like, I just want to be on my own. Just please leave me. And then most times, in fact, all of the time, if I can, I take a nap. I take a nap. Like my napping works for me magically because even if it's a 10-15 minutes nap, it does the magic for me. Once I wake up, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I was that like that. I was just tired. And then the real Chidima, comes out again and we keep it moving. But I accept that I'm tired because I know I'm human. I'm not immortal. I'm not a robot. I have blood running through my veins. So those two things outside of my family, outside of God, have kept me. Because when you can transmit to your brain that you've done something for that day, there is this feeling of joy it gives you. It pushes you to want to do more. So I have been able to crack that code, and I'm not letting it go anytime soon.
Thank you so much. You answered almost my next question because I wanted to ask you what habit or what routine do you use to really manage stress? And you said it, rest is one thing. Rest is one thing that I had to learn.
Yeah.
I had to learn, and I can tell you some specific days whereby it comes to me. There was some time about 4 or 5 years ago. I was working the whole day, fixing things at home. Then I was trying to fix a particular table together into the midnight. There was a particular knot that was not just
Refuse.
going inside. It was not going inside.
Oh
Just
no, I
said,
hate that
okay,
feeling.
go to bed. You are tired. You
Tired.
are tired. Accept that fact. You cannot finish this one today. I went to bed, woke up the next morning, ate, went to that thing. It did not take me 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yes.
It didn't take me two
Yes.
minutes. So you have found out the right thing, like Christ would say to Martha. So to Mary. So you found out the right thing, and rest is. I tell people, rest is powerful.
It is.
Rest is a fuel,
It is.
and you
Seriously.
found it out. And to-do list, I'm a fan of to-do list, that one there. So those are two great habits I pray that people will take along with us. So if you are listening to us and you are listening to these questions, you have your own tips or you are learning something, write them in the comment section. Say, for me, these are the things I do, or I've learned to take a rest now, or I've learned to have a to-do list, or I'm struggling with my to-do list. So just write it in the comment sections, then we'll read that later, or my guests will go back and answer them later. So now let's go over to stress and family.
Okay.
Like I always say, most people, they feel that when you talk about stress, is work, especially for women. You understand?
Mhm.
Stress is work. But what I realize is that so many women, they will give everything to go to work and be a bit free from home stress, because in maybe at work is a bit more organized,
Mhm.
and at home
Mhm.
is everything is just open. So
Yeah.
how has the life home stress affected your relationship with your husband, with your kids, with your loved ones?
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for this question because it would make me tell a bit of a story before I answer it. So, this is it. Um, Last year, for us as a family in Canada, was a very, very, very crazy year. It was stressful. When you talk about stress in all fairs, it was that stressful. And then that particular day, I think I came back from school, and then so there's something my mom used to do when we were growing up. Once my mom is coming back, you know from the door. Because it's from the door she's complaining that the slippers is not well arranged, the curtain has a palm oil stain, and then the so somehow I started doing that. So when I'm coming home from the door, I'm already telling my girls, "Who left this? I told you to sweep the balcony. You didn't do." And then that particular day, I got into the kitchen, and for heaven's sakes, I wouldn't have known what they cooked, and my kitchen was a mess. And I broke down.
Hmm.
I broke down. I shouted, and I started crying. And my husband came out, my girls came out. I know in their hearts, they'll be like, what is happening here? But this is it. It was just an accumulation of everything I was going through as a then, as a woman, as a wife, as an immigrant, as a student. And I think they were just fighting, looking for a way to come out to the surface.
Hmm.
So if it had not happened in my house, I knew it would have happened somewhere. Maybe just a little trigger, maybe at work, someone might have said something that's just, and I would have broken down. So it was a very good thing that it happened at home. My girls hugged me, and my husband was like, okay, don't worry, I would help clean the kitchen if that would make you happy. And I was like, yes. So when it comes to family, this is it. I would say communication.
Hmm.
I'm not a superwoman. My dad, I'm his only daughter. He would always say, Chidima, you're a superwoman. And he would say it. And I think a couple of months ago, I called him. I said, Dad, don't call me a superwoman. I am not a superwoman. Because when you do that, it's like you're stressing me mentally. You're putting me on this kind of pedestal. And please, I don't want to be on that pedestal. I'm a human being. I'm a mom. I want to make mistakes. I just want to live my life like I want to live my life. So I'm always very vocal. I tell you how it is because I've also realized that when it comes to family, assumptions do a whole lot of damage. I've come to realize that resentment comes from issues accumulating and accumulating over time. So in our house, we have a open discussion, like bring it to the table. Let's have our discussion. Even my baby that's just she'll be 6 this month. This month. But then I always say, I want to hear you. Do you have a case? You are your lawyer, your mouth. The Bible says life and death are in the tongue has the power of life and death. So I always like defend yourself, come out with your good case and defend yourself before I am my husband. And if indeed you need that thing, so say it. Just I don't know, the house when it comes to family, I feel like it should be my safest place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I cannot be that way if I'm pretending.
Yeah.
I can't feel it's my safest place when there are expectations of me that I know are not really realistic. Please, I'm a human.
Mm.
I just want to be. Sometimes I think that I'm a baby. I'm a 5-year-old in the
I
body
want
of.
to be a baby. That's what my 18-year-old daughter tells me sometimes. But mommy, I'm just a baby. I say at 18. But I can understand. I can really understand.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a baby, please. And I have 2 children, doesn't stop me from being a child. My mom is still
Oh,
alive. So open communication is key.
yeah.
Acceptance of help, because that is another thing. And this I saw in my mom also, just like you said, my mom is a very clean and hardworking woman. And then my dad will always be like, my dear, won't you just rest? But then my mom will just sit down for 2 minutes and then she has seen that there's one dust somewhere. And then instead of my mom asking for us to help, my mom would rather stand up, go to wherever she has her duster and come and clean it.
But
And
you guys will not. Let me defend her.
okay,
Let me defend her. Sometimes we just feel that we will do it faster and
okay,
better.
okay.
It's not an excuse, but that is why we do that
It does
sometimes.
explain a lot too.
So
It's not
sorry.
a lie. It's not a
Just
lie
had
at all.
to.
But it is what it is. And I was like, look, I do it. I won't tell you that I don't do it. Sometimes I do it. Because take for instance, my sink got bad. And because I didn't want to wait for my husband to come back from work, I got on YouTube and I
To
fixed
fix
the
it.
sink. But along the line, I realized that it was getting too much for me. So I had to master the game of delegation. So
Yeah,
in our house, everybody is working. Even my 6-year-old has something to do. I'm like, do you eat in this house? She'd be like, yes. I'm like, then you have to work. So, and it has helped me because yes, they might not do it perfectly, but practice makes perfect. And if they
exactly.
don't start practicing, they won't learn.
That's
So
true.
this has really helped me.
That's true. That's true. Thank you so much. That's just life. You're saying it as it is. That's just life. You also answered the next question that I wanted to ask you, sometimes emotional load at home and everything like that. Just like with the story you told, sometimes in relationship, sometimes it's not even the present problem that breaks
True,
the camel back.
true.
It's just every other thing that
Every other thing.
we have been unable to talk about or unable to handle, then just a pin will just trigger
Yeah.
everything out. But like you said, um, communication, delegation, acceptance, those things they make a very big difference.
Yeah.
So for example, now you are the founder of this movement, if I'll call it, or
Yeah.
how do you and if you're not careful, because one thing I know about passion and about our vision, and when somebody's on a mission, somebody you're unstoppable, just wake up in the morning, you're thinking about it, you want to do things about it, you're just so invested. How do you balance that and still have to hold back yourself and play that role of a wife, of a mother, and things like that? How do you balance the two? Because that's always the problem.
Okay, so when we have this discussion, I would have to talk about my spouse. And the reason I talk about him is because he's a very, very kind person. He has been, in fact, he has beaten my expectations. So I just have this relaxation, this ease that wherever I'm going to, I have his support. So that has helped me. Another thing I would say that has really, really helped me is this. As you have rightly said, having to build something you're so passionate about could be very consuming, it could be overwhelming. So, what I do is this: when I realize that I've gotten to that point, I accept. I accept. And that is why in the morning before I roll out of bed, the first thing I say, Lord, it is not of he who willeth or runneth, it is of you who showeth mercy. Lord, please, you're in control. I just have to say that and then I thank him and then I get into my day. But this is it. On the days that it gets to that, because when you're stressed, you're less productive. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. It's just like you said, you were fumbling with the knots, you were trying and trying, but when you rested, it took you less than 2 minutes. It's just what happens is the reality. So once I'm in that phase, we do have a team. I'm working with a team. I tell them, take for instance, if from Wednesday I already see that I am overwhelmed. From Thursday, I start shouting on our chat. I'm like, if you know you would need me over the weekend, if there is anything you would want me to do over the weekend, tell me now. From tomorrow, I'm logging off. And so for that 2, 3 days, I might not go on the group chat. I might not go on Instagram. I might not go on social media generally. I'll just try to sleep it through. I love music. Oh my goodness. I don't watch, I'm not a huge movie fan, but music, I love music a lot. Sometimes it's not even music, it's just while I relax. There's this YouTube sound. It could be like rainfall on rooftop or
Yeah.
moving
Ah,
stream.
That's what
I
I
just
do.
I just put it, lower the volume, and then I rest. But once my body sends me the signal that Chidima, you're stressed, I listen to it. I think that's another thing women don't do. They don't listen to their body. But the truth is that the message will always come, the signal will always come. It's now up to you. Will you listen to it? Because once you realize that, look, I'm stressed, I'm tired, you just have to, you're human. Just take the rest. I know sometimes resting might feel like I'm lazy, but
Losing
hey,
time.
it's okay to be lazy. It's okay to lose time. Even God rested on the seventh day. So please cut yourself some slack. Be kind to yourself. Just do whatever it is that makes you happy. Sometimes even going to the spa, just lying there, going for a body massage, just it works.
Yeah.
And this is from experience. Look, body massage, someone massaging your muscles, it goes a long way. It goes a long way
Yes.
because I don't know how to say it, but I just hope if you're listening today, if you're stressed, as much as yes, you can take some things into your hands and do them, I think you should also book a massage. I think you should also get a coach. Like as I said, I was going through it and then I met Coach Ify and it's been awesome. So I think you should, it's not very expensive, of course. So you should take all of this into cognizance and then see what happens. Also be able to mark yourself, like be able to rate yourself. Say, by January, I was this stressed. How am I doing now? Because that way you can then plan your future and say, okay, now I was at 7 by January, now I'm at 5, I'm targeting a 3 by December. Smart goals. It makes it easier for
Exactly.
us.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. For me, you talk about massage. I love my legs. I love my legs getting massage. So even though you cannot go out for someone to massage, if you have kids around you, you
Mm-hmm.
call them, you promise them something. They can
True.
massage that place for you, or you tell them that when my kids were younger, I say, cook on my back. They'll be
Yeah.
cooking, making pizza on your back and everything. It's so relaxing because
True.
part of stress is that you get tensed,
Hence.
and when you're able to massage it, you calm down, you breathe
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
So that's it. So my next question is about finances, and at the beginning I asked you, I said, what is one word you you would associate with stress? You now said lack, broke. You don't like to have money. Well, I don't think I've met anybody that does not like money. And the funniest thing is that some people that come to me and are feeling stressed, at the end of the day, it's just money.
It's
That's
just
the
money.
problem.
True.
And they cannot even pay for the class because of that same money
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So money is something. So now, but another thing is that people don't realize what the problem is. Now you know that, okay, when I'm broke, when I have lack, I get stressed. How have you been able to handle it now? What decisions do you see when you put in place that, even though, because there'll be times, no matter how rich we are, no matter
Yeah.
how anything, there'll be times whereby we are broke. There are different levels of being broke, yeah,
True.
but you'll be broke, you have a lack.
Yeah.
How do you cope with it? How do you overcome it?
Oh, okay. So when it comes to money matters and stress, it will always happen. But I think for me, I getting financial literate is also very key. It's important because where we come from, I think somehow we are educated, but we are not financially literate. I remember then in my dad's library, he had Rich Dad and Poor Dad. I think that was the first book I read towards being financial literate. So when you're financial literate, it helps you. You might not have cash, but you have some investments, you have some savings somewhere that you might really not want to touch. It's fine. But I'll tell you this, just knowing you have savings somewhere, just knowing you have an investment that when push gets to shove, you can gives you a kind of ease. So that is thinking about it on the very, very large scale. But when we talk about our everyday living, what I think I have been able to do is that I try to make sure that I'm not owing anybody because I am this kind of person that if I'm owing, I am stressed. It's just what it is for me. So I try to make sure I'm not owing anybody. So I try my possible best to live within my mean. Is that I love food. I'm a foodie. So I might have 1,000 naira with me, and then I would invest 800 naira in food. Let me just have food in my house. Whatever comes my way, Chidima will face. But food, I love food. I love good food. So I try to invest in it. And I have come to realize that I'm eating my food and look, I have only 10 naira in my pocket. It's fine. God will take care of me. But I don't want to imagine myself that I have 1,000, 2,000, and I don't have good food in my house. I don't know. I don't know. I come home and my fridge is empty. It just makes me feel stressed immediately. But I come home and there is food. Happens there. Every other thing, every other thing will take care of itself. So these are things I've been able to put in place to make sure that yes, sometimes when I go broke, I don't really get stressed. So I just try to make sure I have food, I have little cash here and there that I can use for one or two things, and then keep it moving.
Yeah. You said something, you talked about being financially literate, and that's one thing that a lot of us are not.
Sure.
I think two years ago, I had to attend a course, and I realized that I was big on saving here and there, and I gave my children this mindset that
Mindset.
if they have money, they should not spend it. So if when they buy when they tell me they buy this, I'm always, why would they
Like,
buy it?
why will
I'm always
you?
attacking them. And I felt it was good. But it got to a point that such a person will not want to even show you the thing they work for it,
Yes.
that they
Yes.
are that they are buying.
Yes.
So being in that class make me to understand that money is for many purposes. Yes, you save, but you
Okay.
also spend. You only spend
You'll see.
wisely. You
Sure.
allocate a particular portion of money you spend every
Yeah.
month. It
Yeah.
can be 1%, but this is the one you
Mm-hmm.
spend, and it's part of
Yes.
it. And when you are spending it, you don't have guilty conscience. You spend
True.
it because you work.
True.
So, and that's what a lot of us are missing. We really need that financial literacy to really help you. And you talked about food. You mentioned one thing, but the problem most of us have is this: we want to have everything at the same time.
Mine. Yeah.
And this is why I said it last week when I interviewed myself, was that I learned in this country where I am is that you see somebody, they just want to travel, and that is what they focus on it. They don't want to do everything because you break down, you lose out. You understand? So now
Absolutely.
you've said your own. Oh, hey, I have 1,000. You say 800 to buy food. I'm okay.
Let
So
me
you
have
plan,
places.
you plan your place, and the other things. Do you know? Funny enough, you have enough power to cope with the other things because what is important to your priority, you've settled it.
Yeah.
So, and I pray someone takes that way because I believe that is very, very important. We cannot have it all.
You
It's
can't.
good to have it all, but sometimes there are times in our life we can't have it all. Then you have to know what to hold on to
True.
tight, and
True.
and that will help us a lot. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, man.
So coming to people management. Last
Mm.
year, June, July, I got so angry with somebody. I got so angry with somebody. I've never been that angry with somebody in my whole life. In the sense that somebody will tell you, I'm going to do this. And you rely on that person. I'm a plan, I'm big on planning and things like that. And the person kept on failing you, draining you out, messing up your plan.
Messing up
That
the book.
that was crazy. So how do you deal with people that are draining, people that are stressful, people that are you can't live with them, but you have to live with them?
You have
How
to.
have you been able to deal with them?
Oh, okay. Thank you for asking this question because I am also trying to teach my kids that I and what I do is this. So I accept the fact that this has nothing to do with me. So it's not about me. And once you're able to understand that, you're able to also realize that if it's not about me, why do I have to punish myself for some other person's misgiving? So it makes it easier for me to say, oh, this is outside me. She did this, she was rude. She was rude because, well, I also try to, what I also try to do, I also try not to jump into conclusions. I used to before, oh, once this person, but now I think I have been able to say, I really do not know what this person is going through as at now. So it's not about me. And so it makes me take a step back. And then I could reapproach later on and say, babes, you spoke to me in a very rude way. I wasn't happy you did that. What's happening? And then, this person is now able to open up and say, Chidima, I got a letter of, I got a message that wasn't nice, and now it makes sense to me why this person was rude to me. And it makes it easier for me to forgive this person. But then there are also some people who are difficult. There is absolutely no explanation. They are just that way. So what I do is if I try, I'll try. But I'm not promising you that I'll try more than once. I will try, but once I realize that this is who this person is, I protect my peace. So immediately, well, they say don't cut off. I am not really cutting off, but I am stepping back. I'm distancing myself. And when I distance myself, my mom, I took this from my mom. My mom is the look, aga m agwa gị ya n'ihu. I will tell it to you as it is, to your face. Because my mom will tell me, whatever you cannot say in front of the person, don't say it behind the person. So because of it, once I'm distancing myself, I'll tell you, I'll say, look, we have been friends this long, we have been companions this long, we have been acquaintances for this long, but this is what you're doing. I don't think I can work with anymore. And I think it would be better for us to just, give ourselves a break. And the reason I do this is for closure. I just don't want to cut someone off and the person keeps wondering what they did or what they didn't do. That's one. And then two is that when I see you in public, once I have been able to tell you this is what you do, if I don't feel like greeting you, I don't feel any guilt about it. And you also know why I haven't greeted or why I decided not to come and say hello. So you respect me, I respect the distance, and then we keep it moving. But above every other thing, I try to protect my
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah. You made two distinction, first of all, trying to understand the person involved and giving them a chance. But there are people that we already know who they are and how to deal with them. There's a book I've read. This is the
Yes.
second time I've read that book. Is about, it says, let them, the let them theory. You have to let people be who they are. You have to accept that.
True.
Of course, you can influence people, but you cannot really change people. You understand? And when people decide to go a particular way, you let them, but at the same
Let them.
time, you let you be you. Either you avoiding, you taking a distance, you talking to them, whatever you have to do. At the end of the day, you got to protect your own peace. So there are different ways of approaching difficult people, but I think that for me personally, a difficult person is more load than workload. You understand? I'm telling you the truth. No matter how there is a work,
True.
no matter how heavy
True.
work is, I will get through it. But when you ask to do
You
with
get through it.
somebody,
But difficult people, oh
it's
my.
difficult. So I just pray that if you can work, be patient, be prayerful, be understanding. But I can guarantee you that there are some many people that you do all these things, they still remain who they are. You're trying to help them.
Yeah.
They don't even see. They don't. It doesn't. It bounces back. At that point, you need to protect yourself. You need to take a step
Your
back.
own self.
You need to go around, do whatever you can, find a way of escape to just move out of that circle. So thank you very much for that. So two more questions before I release you. We can keep talking. Really, I'm really enjoying this. I'm learning,
Oh, I'm glad I
and
have
I'm learning so
to.
much also, because sometimes you just think you know it or it's a lie. You don't know anything. You get to learn from people. So personally,
Absolutely.
right now, we're talking about growth. We're talking about the future. And I know myself personally, when life becomes overwhelming, I know what keeps me going, and I thank God that I have been able to find that out. So immediately it happens, I just switch gear.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about systems. I preach a lot
So,
to my clients about system. In my clients, in their last sessions, I always tell them, what if this thing happens again? What if so and so? What do? You have to have a system in life, because if there's anything that is constant
Wait.
in life, is change. So when life
Change.
gets uncomfortable, overwhelming, insecure, and everything, what keeps you going? What keeps you hopeful?
Hmm. First, I'd say thank you for the question. But the first thing I would say that keeps me going, whatever comes my way, is God. I'm from a Christian home, and my mom is a spiritual anchor, more or less. And she has been able to make us realize that in life you need an anchor. In life, you just need an anchor, someone to bring you back to where you're supposed to be. So whatever it is I go through, I always go to God and say, God, it is you or you. And knowing my history, knowing the fact that He has never let me down, also helps boost me and trust Him completely. So whenever life feels too much, I go to Him. And then after this, another thing I do is I sit in it. So whatever it is I'm going through, if it needs me crying, I cry like a baby. If it needs me just sitting with myself, I sit with myself. Like my girls call me big cry baby because I could be watching a movie with them, and then the next thing, my eldest daughter will be like, "Mommy's crying. She has started crying." But in literature, we call it catharsis. Sometimes it's not really the movie that is making you cry. Sometimes it's just the fact that you can see yourself in whatever it is they are portraying. So if I'm going through whatever I'm going through, I sit with it. I ask myself. Another thing I've come to realize, people don't like asking
Hmm.
tough questions. I love asking tough. I like asking people questions that will make them feel uncomfortable, because when I ask these questions, I watch them. I watch their body language while they answer me. And it also takes our relationship from the surface level to a higher level, because when I ask you those kind of questions, most times you reciprocate and you ask me those kind of tough questions. So I'm not the high kind of friend. If I am your friend, I'll ask you very tough questions. And so I ask myself those kind of questions. I'm like, Chidima, this. If it has happened, this. What do you think you should do? But then with people like us, it is also good to remind ourselves that we also have to be kind to
Hmm.
ourselves. Because when you're your critic, you tend to be very tough, but you're human. So we also try to make sure that, okay, Chidima, you messed up big time. There's absolutely no gain saying that. But then what do you think you can do to make it better? After that, I try to talk to people, and that is where the kind of friends, the kind of family member, the kind of community you've been able to build goes a long way. So sometimes I have a friend for this kind of situation. I know she's not the person I want to talk to. I know this is the person who has the maturity to handle this kind of issue. And this is not to say that that other friend is not a good person. It's just that I know her. I know what she can handle. And I know this particular issue is not within her bracket. So I go with okay, this is the person I feel I can talk to about it. It also helps. Talking to someone helps, because sometimes it's just like you said, you think you know it all. You don't know anything. An input from someone can just give you a whole new perspective, and you're like, wait, what has been happening all this while? So I do that a lot. And then another thing I do is that I read. So sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody too. Sometimes the matter is so sensitive, I don't want to share. And so what I do is that I go to books. I look for resources on that particular topic, and it has never failed me. It's almost like talking to people, just that this time around it's mental, it's mind. So these are the things I've been able to work around. These are my systems, I would say. And so far, they've been very good.
Thank you so much for that. You said something about knowing the kind of friend to talk to, and that is very
True.
important. Even at home, I have three girls, and three of them, they have their strengths and their strengths. And sometimes
Absolutely.
when I'm down or when something is happening, maybe it's my last daughter that's with me, she'll just say, Mommy, should I call Chichi? Should I call Chichi? Because she knows that one
That's the
knows how
best
to talk to
way.
me. I remembered I was
Yeah.
talking to you also. I remembered during my 50th birthday, my sisters they could not come, and I was just crying like a baby. And she said to me, Mama, do you know what? Next year we are doing 50 plus one. After next year, doing 50,
Yeah.
she just knows what to say and
Yeah.
everything like that,
What to say at the
So
right
it's
time.
not as if the
Yeah.
last one is not there. The last one, what the last one does to me, she will just come and lie down and hold me. You understand? So each person, like you said, each of your friends, you should know
What?
exactly which
Yeah.
strength they are for.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I do, I also want to share is I always look for, no matter how difficult, no matter how bad your situation is, I'm telling you, look for one thing that you can be grateful for. It must not be that bad situation. It can be something that connected to it. You understand? You don't have food to eat. You can thank God that you are healthy. There's always something to be grateful for, and I will see you
True.
through. You know, so
Thank you so much for sharing this. It means a lot
so
to
that
me because gratefulness, the
yeah,
heart of
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
That
Thank
helps me
you.
personally so much because sometimes we see it so bad, which is also it can be
Yes,
bad
yes.
sometimes, but there's still a little light in the tunnel.
True. You can thank God
So
for.
the last question is this: if you have to advise um, people watching us, advise your kids, advise your younger self, what stress management tip, what life tool, what system, what strategy would you tell them? Hey, hold on to this. It will really help you out.
Oh, okay. So for me, I think the first thing I would tell you is that absolutely nothing is worth stressing for. So yes, you can stress, but it is not worth stressing for. And why do I say this? I say this because um, stress doesn't really bring any solution. So you just get yourself into more trouble. So once you're able to say, oh, okay, it happened, I messed up, I don't have money, this and that. And you're like, okay, fine, that's the problem. And the next thing should be, what's the solution? What can I do? Because I think I do that a lot too, and it has helped me. If you know me, you know that the problem is here. Yes, what's the problem? And the next thing I'm asking is, what's the solution? What do you want us to do about it? Which has also it has helped me be proactive. It has helped me, be able to see beyond the problem. That way, I am not just sitting. I'm not just sitting and dwelling on the problem. So this is what I would tell you, as a person, as a woman, a man trying to, establish a balance because life will be stressful, life will come with its stresses. But the truth is, first, be kind to yourself. So you've made the mistake. It's okay. You've allowed that person talk to you anyhow. It's fine. You're a human being. Just be kind to yourself and say, "Oh yeah, it happened this time. I'll try for it not to happen again." That also helps you. Which also brings me to acceptance. When some things happen, accept it because it's beyond your control. It's beyond your power. Try to look for a solution, but be kind to yourself. Realize that nothing is really worth stressing for or dying for because stress could get to that extent where it kills someone. So absolutely nothing is worth stressing for. Be kind to yourself. Always be on the solution looking part than dwelling on the problem aspect. And then at the end of the day, always have a community. Be able to ask for help. So don't think you're a superwoman. Absolutely, this is not Superman. It's not possible. So be able to ask for help and be able to accept assistance. And at the end of the day, have an anchor. So you might not be Christian. It's fine. If you're Muslim, you're a Buddhist, wherever, whatever you are, just have an anchor, that place you can go back to in your quiet time and say, I am here. And this is how I'm feeling. Sometimes when I'll tell God, I'll say, God, I can't lie to you now. You're seeing everything. I talk with him like he's seated before me. And it helps me, say, okay, he's in charge. He'll take care of it. So this, I strongly believe, would help. And then at the end of the day, also look out for what works for you. Look out for what works for you. So it might not even be any of these things I've said. It might be something very simple but it works for you. It could be getting just a cone of ice cream and then it relaxes you. So whatever it is, let's keep it working.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You talked about being solution oriented. As much as I
Yeah,
believe in letting your emotions flow, you have to cry, you have to do whatever you have to do. Don't dwell there, you know. Look for a way out. We dwell so much in the problem, we don't want to see the solution. So that's what I'm taking
solution.
with me. Be solution oriented. What can I do now? Okay, this thing has happened. What is the next thing?
Yeah,
You're ready
absolutely.
to move, you're ready to move. God is there. God,
Mhm.
like you said, sometimes we just feel that we need to kneel down, we need to do this thing. God is everywhere. He hears you. Just say it to him. God, help me. Scream it if you have
Yeah.
to. He will hear you. It has been a great conversation with you today. It has really been.
Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy
We're
I'm
supposed to have
hearing
gone for
you.
30 minutes, 35, 5 minutes, 45 minutes. We're here 1 hour.
Oh
And I
my, I'm
think,
so
no,
sorry,
I'm
please.
sorry, because it's what I told you. But I think we can even go for more hours. But thank you so much. So if you're a
You're
woman or
welcome.
you're a mom, and you want to hear Chidinma speak again, we're having a moms conference coming up in September 26th and 27th, where we're talking about moms in business and everything. So she's part of our panel, whereby she'll be answering questions, giving her experience. So if you're a mom, please prepare for that. The flyers will soon be out. And like I said at the beginning, if you want to join the masterclass, the self-care you deserve, you DM me to attend it. And if you just want to talk, if you need assistance with any kind of stress you might be going through, I have different programs. I have the Balance and Beyond. And for women, I have the Balanced Woman, program. You can register for any of those programs and start on your balance journey. It's a journey. We keep discovering
It's a journey.
ourselves every single
Yeah.
day. So thank you for everyone that tuned in. God bless you all. Thank you, Chidima. And
Oh, thank you
we'll
so
see you
much.
next week with my next conversation.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. Have a good one, ma'am.
Bye, everyone.